Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. It is Thursday Morning Live, and give you a couple minutes here to log on. Hope everybody's having a great morning, having a great week. Actually, boy, the weather has just been beautiful here in Chicago. With the exception of a little bit of rain yesterday, it's been hot this week. It's been a little humid, so hopefully you've had some time to hang out at the beach and maybe do some other things outside that you really enjoy doing. I always say there's nothing like summer in the city, right? Where, we've got the City Walk in Chicago. We've got the Bean, if you at Millennium Park, if you are a tourist or sightseeing. And we got the lakefront. And, those three things in the summertime just make the city a great place. A lot of outdoor eating, a lot of music and neighborhood festivals going on. So hope that you are enjoying your summer and especially enjoying this week. So, hey, I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but yesterday the feds raised the rates again. It's kind of the talk of the real estate space right now. And if you're in residential or you're in commercial, it's definitely going to put an effect on what we're doing. Does that mean that you should stop or slow down or not do anything or not buy a house? Or no, it certainly doesn't mean that at all. And I remember when I first got in real estate, interest rates were double digits. And people were still buying houses and still moving. So just because interest rates have gone up a little bit doesn't necessarily mean you have to stop. There's ways of buying property that you can alleviate some of the pain of those rising interest rates. So maybe you just can't buy what you would have normally bought. So, hey, if you're new to the show, thanks for being here this morning. We're here every Thursday morning. Follow us on social media if you are following us, and if you like our content, show that. And over on Facebook, we have a community multifamily unplugged, where we're always bringing out new content, letting you know about live events and events coming up, whether they're webinars or these live Thursday morning events. But today, my guest is a friend of mine that I've known for quite some time. His name is Nico Gramarossa, and actually, he is the son of a longtime friend of mine. And it's kind of funny as you start to get a little bit older, your friends' kids start showing up in the workspace and in the environment. So it's just interesting. But Nico is with Novus Home Mortgage here in Chicago. Let me bring him in. Nico, what's happening?
What's up, everybody? How are you?
Hey, it was interesting. I remember when you and your brother were running around the swimming pool at the house.
Sure. Yeah.
And look where life takes us.
It's so funny. My dad knows everybody in the real estate industry in Chicago. So when I go places, they're like, "Hey, weren't you that little kid running around the office?" And unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Hey, let me just shout out to everybody online this morning. Good morning, Victor and Lisa, Cynthia. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't hesitate throwing them in the chat for us, because we'll get those answered for you. Because we're going to talk a little bit about real estate, about Chicago, about the market. So, hey, Nico, before we get going, one question I always like to ask my guests, right? And I wish I knew what the answer to this that your dad gave when he was on the show. But in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
So for professionally, I'm going to say adaptive, because in this industry, there's so many different types of clients and scenarios. You kind of have to be a chameleon and be able to adjust and pivot. So for business, definitely adaptive, and then just lifestyle, I guess, just charismatic and free.
Yeah, you are charismatic. There's no doubt about that. Hey, I love that word adaptive, though.
Thank you.
I've been asking that question of my guests for probably 2 years, and I'm compiling the data, right? Because I'm going to write a book, the one word, and I'm going to talk about everybody I've had on my show in that.
Very cool.
Over the time that I've been doing these podcasts. So, I do this one, and then we have the Saturday Morning Multifamily Unplugged, and then my syndicated podcast, Insider Secrets, with, on all of them, I try to bring people on that, are experienced in what they do, are smarter than me, and just able to provide some value. So
Sure.
talk about your background a little bit and how you got into the mortgage business.
Yeah. So I grew up around the real estate mortgage industry pretty much my whole life through my father. But right out of high school, graduated high school in 2011, he grabbed me and said, listen, you want to be a realtor or a loan officer? Even though I grew up around the business at the time, I was still like, what's the difference, But I went down the loan officer path with my pops. It took me a year or so to get licensed. Just because, they don't teach you any of that stuff in high school. So it was pretty hard for me. I had to really dig into the books. I started working with our processor, my dad's processor. So I would open files with her. But I've been licensed loan officer for 10 years. Actually, next year, 2024, it'll be 10 years I've been licensed. But yeah, that's my background. Is I'm pretty much a full-time loan officer. Been doing this 10 years. Pretty much all I know, have a little bit experience in YouTube. My last team that I was on, we got 100% of our business generated through YouTube. So it wasn't realtor business, wasn't past clients. Obviously, we worked with our past clients, but all of our new business was generated through YouTube. So I have a kind of a unique approach on obtaining new business in the new video marketing age that we live in.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Here, one question I have for you is, you said you were choosing between being a realtor or going in the loan business.
Yeah.
What helped you make that choice, or why did you make one over the other?
Well, so here, a little bit more background. So back in 6th grade, that's right before you go into middle school.
Okay.
In the yearbook, they ask you what you want to be when you're older. And everyone said astronaut, football player. And I can literally get you the book. Mine said mortgage loan officer. Because again, that's what my dad did. So I was around it my whole life. So again, I think that's really what pushed me to be an LO is my dad, really. Because again, even though he had the real estate offices, his main thing was being a mortgage loan officer.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I remember, your dad had one of the biggest mortgage companies in the Chicago and suburban markets for a number of years. Some great people worked for him, and 2008 rolled around, and the whole world went to hell in a handbasket. And it's been really inspirational to watch your dad bounce back, and his mindset and what he does. And I have to imagine that a lot of that mindset and that positive thought, positive direction is worn off on you. You've absorbed that in your own life. What's your mindset today in the environment that we're in? Because we're in an environment that, people are saying, "Oh, I can't buy a house. Interest rates are too high. I can't refinance. I can't do that." How do you stay out of the out of the noise?
Yeah. So again, I think it's a great time to buy. The interest rates, right? You've probably heard it. Everyone's heard it. You're going to be dating the rate, marrying the house, right?
Right.
Again, I don't think we're not going to see rates down in the 3% for a long, long time. And here's the thing, the people that are waiting on the sidelines for a crash to come or home prices to come down, I have sad news for you. It's not happening. Right now, or at least last month, across the whole country, there were 617,000 homes for sale.
Wow.
Another pending like 400,000, but still 600,000 homes for sale across the whole United States. So again, that's why you're seeing in some places bidding wars and prices going up. Now, again, real estate's very local, right? So in some areas you are going to see a hit, but in those places, those are the places where it's skyrocketed 20% in equity when really it shouldn't have been doing that. So I think it's correcting itself to back where the real levels of the value should be in the market. Again, the interest rates, they're going to come and go. They're going to go up and down. It's standard throughout, the history. But I think the worry is the home prices. You don't want to be outbid, or not outbid, but where the home prices get so high you can't even afford.
Yeah.
But my thing is get in now. That's my thing, is get in sooner than later.
Well, and one of the things that I've always said, and I sold real estate for 15 years,
Right.
right? I was, uh, you know, upper 1% of realtors nationally as well as locally. And I don't say that to brag. It's just that
No,
I went out and did the work, right?
sure.
You have to go out and do the work. And here's what I know, even if interest rates are high, when they come down, you can refinance,
Right.
right? And so markets are cyclical, markets are going to change. And you're on the residential side, and I'm on the commercial side. And even in the commercial side, we're feeling that effect, right?
Sure.
And but it doesn't mean don't buy, because I still think that if we're not in it, we're heading into one of the greatest opportunities in history to own real estate.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And again, there's still the demand. There's so many millennials right now trying to get out of their parents. I'm a millennial, but there's so many millennials trying to get out of their parents' basements right now. But they're waiting for rates to come down, and they think this 2008 crash is going to happen again. And the sad news is it's not. Unfortunately, if you guys look at the data and go back, it's just not there right now for the
Yeah,
housing is what I'm talking about.
yeah. So, are you? What about things like refinancing or
Yeah.
home equities? Any of that going on in the market today? Or
So I honestly, personally, I maybe have done one home line of credit loan this year and not one refinance.
Hmm,
It is out there because people are debt consolidating their credit cards. Credit card interest rates right now are the highest they've ever been.
yeah,
So we do have people coming and refinancing, debt consolidating all their credit cards, and instead of getting a 27% interest rate, they said, "Oh, shoot, I'd rather have the 7% interest rate."
yeah.
So it's still there. There's still certain people. It just depends on your situation. Obviously, it's not as prevalent as 2 years ago or even a year ago. The refinances.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one thing I know is that no matter how the market is, high or low, it's going to change. But
Yeah,
there's always that thing in the market too. Is there's some creative acquisitions that you can do.
sure.
I know that we're buying another apartment complex in Tulsa, a 65 unit deal that we're putting together that we're doing creative funding on.
Very
So,
cool.
you know, there are all kinds of opportunities out there
Yeah.
for people to help people who are in a situation that need help
Hmm.
and create, asset value and wealth for yourself. So,
Sure.
hey, if you're somebody who's new to the real estate space, if you're looking for creative ideas and ways to grow, I know Nico's got a lot of those ideas just
Yeah.
from past history through his family, and reach out to him or me. Hey, what's your YouTube channel?
So right now we're actually in the process of creating it. Our old one was connected to my last company, so
Okay.
unfortunately we're starting from brand new, starting from scratch, which
Okay.
not a big deal. But I'm still pretty big on Instagram, and you guys can find me on there just on my first and last name.
Okay. So let's talk about, one of the comments you made, and you and I have had this conversation a couple times about YouTube and how do you use
Yeah,
YouTube. And, so for people who are on here right now who are thinking about how do I utilize or capitalize on YouTube,
sure.
how about a couple of top tips for using a
Yeah.
YouTube channel?
So top few things I could say is consistency is going to be one.
Mm,
A lot of people, what happens is, and I've done it before, is you post one video, maybe you have two in 1 week, and then all of a sudden you're gone for a month. That's
yeah.
not going to be good for the algorithm. So at YouTube, all it is an algorithm. It's the second largest search engine on the computer right now. So what you want to do is you're trying to nurture that algorithm to get you popped up onto the views, right? So the more consistently you're posting, it's just going to be better for growth, right? Also, the longer viewers are on your videos, so the longer they watch it, it's also going to be great for the algorithm to be recommending your videos. So if people are only watching the first 30 seconds or minute, it's not going to be good. So again, you really want to make your shows, your videos entertainment, because that's really what this is. Um, Also, in your videos, I see all this happening a lot of times. People will be covering too many things at once. Like in a video, you should be covering maybe one, maybe two topics. I see a lot of people crunching into one video, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And then
Trying to put a lot of information into 30 seconds, right?
Right. And then probably the next big thing, because I actually did with my last manager, he paid for us to go through a mastermind for YouTube with Daryl Eves. He's probably one of the biggest YouTube mentors out there. But the next big thing is going to be your thumbnails. Thumbnails are what's going to grab the viewer's attention, right? So your thumbnail is that little icon that people see before the video. And really studying those icons. It's kind of nuts. There's a whole science behind YouTube. It's not just, hey man, how can I post a video that I like? Like I said, it's really manipulating that algorithm for your benefit. And again, the thumbnails is one of the top things because that's what they're clicking on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it. It's more than just, hey, I'm going to post a video. You really have to put some thought back into it. One last thing I'll give you is another big thing is you want to create buckets, right? So let's just say my YouTube channel. On my channel, I will have buckets. And when I say buckets, I mean a video category where it's going to be just about mortgage rates and updates. That's going to be one bucket. So that's going to be one bunch of videos just about that topic. Maybe my next column is my personal life or the GMC office that I work out of, this real estate office. The reason you want to create different buckets and kind of categories is because that's going to help your video be recommended after your videos and other videos like yours. So if you see Mr. Beast, he's probably the #1 person on YouTube right now. He's he does the challenges. Hey, if you go to his channel right now and study his channel, he has 3 or 4 different buckets, challenges, how long they can be somewhere. So again, once you start to realize this, once you kind of start to think a different way in YouTube. Once you're watching other people's videos, you're like, oh, look at this is a bucket. He's got this video like this. This thumbnail is like this. So again, there's a real science behind being, YouTube than just posting.
Yeah. Hey, that's some good stuff. That's for sure. I
know I talk fast.
Yeah. Hey, we're live on YouTube right now. So I just want to say if anybody's watching us on YouTube, do smash that subscribe button, would you? So that you always know when we're going live. Because we go live a few times throughout the week on YouTube and bring some content, either a guest or just some content about the multifamily business. Sure. And whether it be interest rates went up or how to buy a property creatively. Hey, I want to say hi to a couple people that are online this morning. Lisa is on, and she is listening from an airplane. She's in flight on the way to New York from North Carolina. So that's interesting. It's funny how technology has changed, right? And how the progression of technology. Cynthia is listening in from Austin, Texas this morning, which is kind of cool. So, hey, if you are listening, throw in the chat where you're from. Love to just say hi to you and just kind of know where our listeners are calling in from or listening in from. But so, Nico, where do you see and do you have an idea or a thought in your own mind or the people around you where the market's headed?
Yeah, definitely. So it's funny. On my screen right now, I have it half and half where I have us on the one side. And then I follow every day the MBS markets.
Sure.
So the MBS markets are how mortgage rates are set. It's a bond on Wall Street. So again, a lot of people say the 10-year treasury, they follow the 10-year treasury. That's more involved on the yields of how it pays out. But if you want to know what's going on with interest rates, you should be following the mortgage-backed security. So we follow that every day. Yesterday and today, usually after Powell talks, rates usually either crash or go up. The good thing with yesterday is we all thought that he was going to, raise it by another quarter of a point. The good thing is the markets didn't react. We're pretty flat since yesterday and today. When I say markets, I'm talking about the MBS markets, which is great because for the past year, it's been very volatile. And I'm talking about maybe 100 basis points in a day, where a normal day it goes 5 to 6 basis points. So right now we're pretty flat, which is good. It's a good site. That means we're in the right path. So my prediction, I think the home prices are going to keep rising, especially in certain areas because of the low inventory. Again, 600,000 homes across the country are for sale right now. There's over 4 million pre-approved buyers, right? So the demand's there. I think rates are going to come down a bit. I don't think it's going to be anything dramatic. I think next year will be around in the sixes, maybe in the high fives.
Wow, that's interesting. So I want people to absorb that, right? There's 600,000 homes for sale and 4 million buyers in the marketplace.
Yeah. So there's another about 400,000 homes pending, but that means they're going through, they're waiting for their loan officer to approve their loan, right?
Right.
But so that's great. Like it's pretty crazy. I'm the news here. I'm based in Chicago. You know, they were talking about Naperville. It's a big town here in Illinois. They're saying how they usually have about I think it was maybe like 300 homes for sale in a normal market. They have 40 homes for sale in all of Naperville.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. So it's supply and demand, right?
Yep.
It's economics 101 is what it is. It's supply and demand, right? So prices are going to go up because the supply is down. People don't want to move because they have this great interest rate on their house, or they have a ton of equity in their house.
Right.
So
I'll give you this, Mike. About 35 or 40% of the country has a rate under 4%. So
what is the number?
It's about 30 or 40% of the whole country has a rate under 4%.
Okay.
Rates right now are around high 6s, 7s. So, you know, are you really going to sell right now to go get a triple the rate you have? You know, so that's people's mindset right now, at least.
Well, people that are selling are people who have to move.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Got a job transfer, or
Correct.
family situation, or they're moving out of town. You know, people that have to move are the ones that are selling right now.
Yes, sir.
Or you have your distressed seller also.
Sure.
And that makes up what percentage of the market does that make up?
Distress. I don't have that number. I could definitely send you the charts that I kind of the stuff I'm reviewing. I know it has it on there. I can send that to you after we're done here.
Yeah, just curious. That's
sure. No, no problem.
That'd be an interesting number.
But the thing that's on the rise right now is the new construction, right? So the people that are selling, they're willing to sell if they're getting a brand new home. That's one thing that is up. One of my best friends, he just built a home in Gilbert, so they did it pretty quick, only like 6 months too.
And was that in a development, or was that something he built on his own?
It was in a development. I think it was. I can't remember the builder.
Okay.
But yes, it was in a development.
Okay.
But so those are on the rise, and the builder sentiment came out last week. That's on the rise, and all that just means is how the builders are feeling about the market.
Right.
So that's good. That's another good sign as well.
Well, even in the commercial space, I mean, you drive around and there's more, I've heard it said that there's more temporary fences and cranes up in major cities in this country than there's ever been.
Sure.
And we have this housing shortage. So all these dynamics, right? You've got high interest rates, you got people that won't move, you got people that are scared to buy, and there's a housing shortage,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the reasons, or several of the reasons, that I think being in the apartment business makes a lot of sense right now, and will make a lot of sense. So if people are looking to get in the real estate business or in the real estate space, there's opportunities out there for actively investing, passively investing, and taking advantage of what's yet to come, what's going on now and what's yet to come. So
yeah, definitely. I'm with you 100%.
So, hey, so as we wind down, I always like to ask 3 bonus questions of my guests.
Perfect.
First one is, what's the best book you ever read?
Oh, best book I ever read. So this is hard for me because I read 12 books a year, and which for me is great because I probably didn't start reading until I was 25, right? Okay. But so I read about 12 books a year. So I'm going to either go with Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership, or David Goggins' Get Hard.
Okay. Both great books, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love those 2 guys. I follow them a lot. So those are yeah, some of my inspiration, those guys.
Yeah. So let's keep this, Chicago and suburban based. And I know you mentioned Gilbert.
Yeah.
Gilbert is a suburb about 40 minutes west of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
That is, been a booming area for years. It's a great area, especially if you like being away from the noise and out, not country, but not city.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
suburbia. But best tourist attraction.
In Chicago?
Yeah, our market. Yep.
Ooh, tourist attraction. So I don't know if you'd call it a tourist attraction, but so one of my coolest things that I like, and you got to remember, I've been in the city for 10 years, so I've done a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But we recently went to the Green Mill. It's an old El Capone bar.
Yeah.
But on Fridays, they have like live jazz. And it was one of the coolest things. I mean, these guys were going so hard, they were sweating. And so that's even if you're a tourist or somebody from Chicago, if you've never been to the Green Mill for a jazz night, check that out. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's very old school. They only take cash. It's very cool.
I have never been there. I love jazz,
Yeah.
and I know you're a music lover. Tony Bennett just passed away, and
Yep, unfortunately.
kind of been watching a lot of these clips and 60 Minutes and some of this stuff, and kind of sad last few years for him. But
Sure.
I remember going out to Ravinia and watching him, and but the jazz at the Green Mill. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool place.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
I probably will go with Venuti's.
Oh,
It's one of my
really?
it's a family friend. So I am Italian. That's all I eat. But I eat probably Italian and tacos.
Okay.
No, but any Italian food. I actually cook a lot for myself though. So yeah, but if I'm going out, my Uncle Venuti's.
Yeah, I love Dinwiddie's. Great food there, that's for sure. So, hey, Nico, thanks for being here
Yeah,
this morning. How do people get a hold of you if they want to talk
sure.
markets, mortgage?
Yeah, if people, you can reach out to me even if you just have questions, want to know about the market, about Chicago, or if you just want to talk. But you guys can reach me at 224-650-0868. Yep, that's how you know I grew up out in Algonquin with that 224 number.
Yeah, yeah. That area code overlay, right?
Yes, sir. But
Hey,
yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was great.
yeah, I appreciate you being here. I know you got a big weekend this week, and enjoy yourself. Be safe, and
Thank
have
you.
fun in Wisconsin. A little bit of golfing and bachelor party. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you have a great weekend too. Thank you for having me.
yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here this morning, everybody. Appreciate you. We're here every Thursday morning, bringing some some market information, some area information. And hey, Nico, I'll just throw it out there. If you know anybody who is, a business owner in Chicago, an entrepreneur, a restaurant owner, who would love to be on this show,
Sure.
who likes this type of opportunity. I love the referrals. So
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have to hook you up with Mike the Realtor. He's another video guy.
okay.
You'll meet him next week, though.
Okay, good. Looking forward to it. Hey,
All
thanks
right.
everybody. Have a great week, a good weekend. We'll be here next Thursday. Don't forget Multifamily Unplugged, our Facebook group, and on